When it comes to this pandemic, Boris Johnson's government has demonstrated that there is one rule for them and one rule for the peasants. Be it Dominic Cummings not getting punished for breaking lockdown rules, or the 1922 committee not respecting restrictions on social distancing, where even Boris Johnson joked about. Last week, the Health Secretary Matt Hancock brought in a new rule on pubs and restaurants' closing times. This was delivered with much fanfare by Boris Johnson in Parliament, and with a sombre tone in his address to the nation some hours later. Well, 10 p.m. curfew for pubs didn't mean all pubs. Remember, some are more equal than others. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Up to yesterday, that was the case. The pubs that serve parliamentarians in the House of Commons were operating after 10 p.m. However, due to pressure from within Parliament and outside, the government has been forced into yet another U-turn. The confusion started when the House of Commons pubs described themselves as, and I quote, workplace canteens, which are exempt from the rules. How convenient, no? Perhaps other pubs should try that trick. So on Sunday night, the Times newspaper reported that customers in parliamentary pubs were not required to follow the strict rules for face coverings, which other premises that sold alcohol had to abide by. On the one hand, you had Tory MPs publicly defending the new restrictions on pub openings, while some of those MPs were probably sitting in a parliamentary pub enjoying a pint. Well, the curfew on pubs had pretty much the expected outcome. Thousands of people filled the streets in city centres at 10 p.m. Many were seen hanging around for hours without face coverings or respecting social distancing. Reports say that the police struggled to deal with the crowds. This can be added to a long list of mistakes made by the government and the U-turns that followed. Once again, when the government undermines its own message, it results in the general public losing trust in those providing rules and advice. This means that more and more people will simply flout the rules put in place to protect the most vulnerable in society. I don't know if this is the Tories undermining their own message by design or just through plain apathy. Either way, it will mean that it will be more difficult to deal with this pandemic, and we will see more waves and eventual lockdowns. A strict lockdown should have been imposed during the first wave. Face coverings that are now being required should have been in place from the beginning. This half-arsed approach by both Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock in order to not annoy backbench MPs is not following the science, but instead seems to be an attempt to walk a tightrope, balancing what is right on one side and not pissing off members of Parliament on the other. A disaster in the making. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?